Good evening, good evening, good evening. We're back once again on the replay where we're trying to make you guys day. I'm your host, your girl Rashad, and this is the baddest sports culture show in the DFW. And coming to the stage, you know I got none other than my hitters are with me, my boy, my man D.A. Alexander the Great. And I got my man Action Jackson, Mr. Tim Jackson from Nebraska. And joining us, he's back again, one of the baddest barbers around. Got my man Booker in the house this evening. What's up, fellas?
We here what's up? What's up? What's up?
Replay. I'm going live.
That's right. We going live, baby. We are live. Yo, so y'all know y'all need to do for your boy, man. To do this for your boy, hit that subscribe, like, and share button, man. So we continue to bring y'all this special content. We got a lot of things to cover, so guys, let's go ahead and get into it, man. Let's get into it. On yesterday, we saw. I'm gonna start with these Kansas City Chiefs first. I'm gonna say the best for last. I'm gonna start with these Kansas City Chiefs first, man. Into Baltimore, going up against Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, man, and they went in and handled their business. So, guys, fellas, let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about it because, you know, Lamar Jackson, they said the stars had lined up. And if you want to compare it to something, it would almost be as equivalent to they saying the curse have been lifted from the Dallas Cowboys when they put Jimmy Johnson to the ring of honor. But I don't know, man. I don't know because, like I say, Kansas City went there and took care of business. So since he's been missing in action, y'all, MIA, I'm gonna come on down straight to my boy Booker first and foremost. Book, what it is, baby? What it do?
What it do, man? What it do? What it do, Tim and my boy 49 Lover? How y'all doing today?
What's up, bud?
Glad to see you, man. Say, man, I'm happy to be back, man. But, man, that Kansas City game, man, that boy, he just a winner, man. He just know how to win, Jabril. Boy, he didn't score nothing second half, but, man, he just a leader, man. I mean, you know, Kansas City, I didn't realize Kansas City defense was as good as it was, you know what I'm saying? They came out, man, played good defense. And, hey, that boy just amazing, man. He's just a winner, man. You know, with that, you know, and the running game, man, was awesome on yesterday, man. They running game was, that boy was running the ball, catching the ball out the backfield. And, man, and with him, I mean, at the beginning of the year, I like, man, he ain't going to be able to do it. He ain't got the receivers. Man. That kid just a winner, man. They look good. They got one of the best coaches in NFL football, man. So that being said, man, Mahomes, go Mahomes, go Mahomes, go Mahomes.
You doing a tomahawk talk now? Huh? Doing the tomahawk talk. Well, DA, what you see, man, with this game? Because you know we all went with the Baltimore Ravens, but I gotta put a disclaimer, man. Y'all know I just really forgot the time back with y'all off the air. I was talking Wednesday, maybe Saturday. Things just came so quickly. I couldn't even change my pick, man. I said I'm gonna go ahead and go with Baltimore, but I just knew it, man. Mahomes was challenging himself. They say he couldn't win on the road, but contrary to popular belief, he went in there and did his thing. Da.
Yeah, he did enough. He did enough to win, man. But I think it was more of Lamar choking than Patrick just coming in there clowning. Like, man, you got the home field advantage. You the MVP, and you just let somebody come in there. I mean, he just didn't play like himself, man. It's just like he was just not in the game the whole time. It's like how can I don't understand how can people get in big moments like that. I mean, I know because we are human. But Lamar, you dominated everybody this year. You know, like he was putting a hurting on all of the so-called, you know, top teams this year. I just didn't think that he would lay an egg in the championship game, man, at home. Like this is the year. This was supposed to have been the year. Like you said, the stars aligned, and he didn't take advantage of it, man. He was just scared to be himself. I wanted to see him run. I don't care if he ran 2 times every possession. Just win the game, bro. Worry about what they're gonna say about it later.
I know you, man. You was texting out, boy. You were chiming. Y'all should have seen DA, man. He was texting, chiming, and putting out emojis, and I mean, red faces and everything. Won't he just run the ball? Won't he?
On the ball, dude.
But you know what, DA? To your assessment of things, I was looking at the run game and I saw some key components in that game. I think Pacheco, man, Isaiah Pacheco, he had about 24 attempts for about 68 yards in rushing. And that's really where they got the Baltimore Ravens, man, because they only had like who was the running back, Hill, only had like 3 attempts, man, for 3 yards.
Yep.
Who does that, bro? Who does
that was terrible.
point, man? You really had a point. But let me go to TJ right quick. TJ, come on in. What's up, Action Jackson? Tell me what you saw.
What's up? Yeah, I was just thinking about Datsun. Datsun, the quarterback for for the Cowboys and the Jacksons.
Lamar Jackson.
Baltimore Jackson.
That's a good one.
So that's how he played today. Got big eyes and couldn't see what was going on. Well, what people mostly underestimated, and including me, but I've been watching Kansas City defense. And they played relatively. I mean, they've been playing good all season long. I did say on the show that this is the best defense that actually Mahomes had for Kansas City. So
that's right.
Yeah. So they have a really good defense, and they played better than Baltimore defense. And I was wondering about that. I also said this on the show. I said the receivers keep catching the ball, Kansas City gonna win. So I had a feeling if they kept catching that ball, that they was gonna win and upset this game, and they did. They kept catching the ball. They wasn't missing the ball.
They had no drops.
They catch the ball is the game.
No drop.
Yeah, and Baltimore dropped the ball. And then also, it's a game of margins. And Datsun missed a whole lot of margin. He missed some long shots he would have had a touchdown. He threw some overthrow, had a few little, hiccups. And then the other part of it, they didn't have a running game like you guys were talking about. And the other side is this, is that they did a good job of actually sealing running lanes from him. He could have ran a few other times, but they still did pretty good. But I'm gonna tell you this: the receivers for Baltimore Ravens, they didn't get open either. They also failed the game. Them guys, it was a lot of plays where he had nobody open at all.
Well, you know what though, Tim?
Yeah.
Let me go and get a chat real quick. We got my man, one of the Aggies with us, man. Join us this evening, man. We got Derek Ritchie, man, one of them Aggie defensive backs, and he's already chatting out to my offensive coordinator game plan was horrible.
Horrible.
I agree or disagree. He got away from the running game, and that's true though. That's true, D. Rich. He got away from the running game if there was a running game, and you went and got Dalvin Cook, but did he even play? I mean, what did he even do? But Tim, something you said
nothing.
Now, DA, boy, I'm talking about, say, man, he was texting, man. Look here. He say, man, I don't care. Don't let, Travis Kelce beat you. Put a man on, put a triple to you.
Doubling.
Right.
Having sending them back, emojis, man. I'm saying, listen, you got to understand. You're talking about one of the premier tight ends in the league, one of the most, when you talk about gurus, well, that would be Andy Reid. He come from, of course, I've been knowing Andy, man, since, he was offensive line coach for UTEP back in the day, but he was an offensive lineman. He played his college ball at BYU, and he come from that whole BYU passing system, LaVale Edwards, way back in the day. So he's had his highs and his lows. And when I'm looking at the scheme, looking at the stats, you talk about Zay Flowers from the Baltimore Ravens, but when you compare his stats to Travis Kelce stats, it wasn't that much difference. Kelce had like 11 receptions for 100 and I think 16 yards, whereas Zay Flowers had 5 receptions for 115 yards. So they was pretty close. The problem was Rice for Kansas City offset Aguilar, because Rice had about 3 or 4 really good catches in crucial moments where Aguilar only gave him 1 catch. So I think a combination of that went in and of itself, and then not having a running game. And, Lamar, I know he was a little bit lethargic, a little pedestrian in the running game, but I just think Kansas City defense, and let's not forget, Kansas City defense, Spagnuolo, he has a ring, several of them, and he got one with the New York Giants, if we all recall. So Spagnuolo is not no slouch at all as far as a defensive coordinator. But I get what DA was saying in terms of trying to make something, out of nothing. So But man, I'm gonna tell you, KC defense was Chris Jones, them big boys, man. Hey man, up front, they did a heck of a job though. They did a
But
heck of
when it comes to Kelsey, there's no way. I mean, the difference between him and Zay Flowers numbers is Zay got the 90% of his on one play, or 80%. He got most of his on the big play, and that was one possession, which they didn't score on. Kelsey was like every possession, boom, boom, another possession, boom, another possession, boom, boom, touchdown. They weren't. It's not like they were doubling him and he was doing this. They just decided just single covering. And I ain't never understood that. Like, he's the one, knowing they have receivers that drop the ball, there's no way in the world I'm not going to double Kelsey when I know there's a chance, like one of these other dudes, they may drop it. Just make them beat you. Don't let Kelsey. He didn't have not one drop. Like, every target, he caught the ball. And there ain't no way you in the NFC Championship and a dude's supposed to catch 11 passes without missing one. Or that just doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand what the defensive coordinator was thinking about. Just my opinion.
Well, TJ, you go ahead and chime in on that and kind of help DA with the X's and O's, man. Because if it was up to him, he would run double team, full court press, or UNLV with Jerry Tarkanian on Travis Kelce.
Well, actually, they were double teaming him sometimes. They had him in a bracket. He just beat the bracket. That's what people don't realize sometimes.
Man, they talked the whole game about them not doubling him. So they single covered him most of the game.
Yeah, that's what he thinks. That's what he was trying to do.
Just look.
That's a single cover.
Just look. Most of the game.
This was he had other catches. Like one of the two plays earlier, that was a bracket. He actually ran. They had a man on him from the top, and then the man was over the what's called. He got the ball in before it happened because Mahomes is that good. He read it, and he knows there's a window. He has to throw the ball, and he gets the ball in that window. So sometimes it seems like he's single covered, and he's not. But a lot of times you can't single cover because how many receivers they had out? They had 5 receivers. It's hard to double cover a whole lot of receivers. You leave somebody wide open, and they did every once in a while. That's why some other people had some catches, because when they did try to do something like that, other people were open, and we don't notice it because he didn't catch the ball. Kelsey didn't catch the ball. Somebody else caught the ball because he was one-on-one covered. So the other receivers did a good job. They're good receivers. They run good routes. They just wasn't usually catching the ball. Now they're catching the ball. So when you have an offense that actually is doing a good job all the way around, running the ball, the receivers are catching the ball, and you have a tight end like that, it's hard to stop. It's hard for defensive coordinator to pick his poison because you don't see it. You only see the play where he made the play. You didn't see the play before when they probably double teamed him and then somebody else caught the ball. That's the problem with when you watch.
You can't show me 2 or 3 plays where they double teamed him in that game.
Well, it was 2 right there when we showed on the film.
They talked about it during the game that.
Yeah, I watched them. They can keep talking, but sometimes they don't know what they're talking about. A lot of times you're talking about most of the time the quarterbacks and then somebody who's looking on. They don't know the coverages. Most of the time they don't see it. And a bracket is
I know what a double team. I know what a double team is.
A bracket is a read. Hold on. A bracket is a read. So when a guy goes out, you take it. You should be able to cover a guy if he's going to take it out. And if he come inside, you're going to take it. So that's called a bracket. So it don't look like you double covering him because once you go out, one guy has it. He should be able to cover him. And a lot of times when you got a double coverage, ain't 2 guys stuck on him. Only one guy gonna be stuck on the other guy's over top if he run a different route. That's how you bracket. So a bracket doesn't look like a double coverage all the time because it depends on what route he runs.
Yeah, I have to attest with Tim on that, DA, simply because when we start talking about coverages and breaking down coverages, now that was a man-to-man. He was in single coverage against Hamilton, the safety for Baltimore Ravens. But one of the toughest passes to defend is a back shoulder throw. They tell you that it's because it's all in timing. And he had perfect coverage on Kelsey, to be honest with you. But it's just that chemistry between Mahomes and Kelsey, man, that they've developed over the years. So it looks easy sitting on the couch, but trust and believe, man, that is a tough pass to defend when you're talking about that back shoulder throw. Now, in terms of the coverages itself, bracket and so forth like that, he's absolutely right, because one guy going to play inside, one guy's going to play outside, because he has a couple of responsibilities. Sometimes, even though he's playing outside, he still got to protect deep outside thirds. So he got third of a field. But he's expecting his help to come in either from that safe, depending on how short he's running his route, or if he takes that route a little bit deeper, he's expecting the safety to give him help. So that's what he's talking about in that bracket cover. Now, I can tell you another coverage they ran. I know they ran it against Kelsey. They ran a lot of man under too, Tim. because when you got man under, especially in a cover 4, a man under is where you sitting underneath him while you got a safety playing over the top, and he's in a trailing technique. So you have to really disguise what you're trying to do to an Andy Reid, because if y'all recall, and I had it on this particular highlight here, Isaiah Pacheco, when they first started the game, I knew it was going to be a long day for Baltimore. I knew Smith near the linebackers and Queen, because when Andy Reid set him out, he didn't even motion him out of the backfield. He instantly lined him up in the slot. Because when they snapped the ball so fast, I'm like, oh man, that's Pacheco over there. I knew then when he caught it, I said it's going to be a long day for Baltimore. Because you're talking about Andy Reid is one of the most creative design callers to ever really, man, call an NFL game. And you can see it. That's why he is who he is. You know, all the AFC championships, starting with the Philadelphia Eagles, and even when Brent Favre with the Green Bay Packers, up into the Kansas City Chiefs. The man knows X's and O's. And when you're giving this man 2 weeks to prepare, like he's going to prepare for the Super Bowl, I'm telling you something. We'll get into that a little bit later, but you better be able to cross your I's and dot your T's, because I'm telling you, Andy Reid is a heck of a play caller. And, you know, granted, you know, Baltimore didn't play a bad game. They held them to 17 points. They just didn't get enough offensive points. And the defense played better the second half. But still, yet, when you got a quarterback like a Patrick Mahomes, and it's like a marriage made in heaven between him and Andy Reid, it's just you got to really disguise your coverages, man. You really have to, because if you tip your hand, I'm telling you, Andy Reid he gonna come, and he'll come back to it. Just because he didn't get it then, he's always lurking and watching, man, and he'll come right back to that same play, show you that same formation, and then run something else different off of it. So, you know, that's my take on that. Let me get over to the comments right quick, guys. Let me see who chatting and coming out. We got D. Richard. He's still in the house, yeah, because he's talking about. He said the Ravens led the league in rushing with what was that, 2,661 yards. That's crazy, D. Rich. You're right. They led the league in rushing, and then they got away from the thing they do most. Because I think Lamar Jackson, yeah, man, he threw for what he was 16 for 23 for 152 yards. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, when I saw the rush stat, I was real surprised, man. I was like, they only attempted. That don't look right. I don't know. Maybe I need to look that up a little bit more. They didn't look right. But he also said that Mahomes is another Brady. He get rid of the ball so fast, and he knows coverages. Yeah, that's coming from another defensive back. Brady and Patrick Mahomes, I'm telling you, man, the way he's going, if he were to win this next chip, the way he's going, man, you can solidify, man, like he's going to be right there with the Bradys, man. Because this guy have won, I think what he played out of the last 4 or 5 years, he's played like 4 championships, have been in it, or the last 5 years. Hey, man, that's nothing. That's not a small thing to frown at. I mean, that is big time. But go ahead, DA. I know you want to say something.
No.
Speak to it.
No, that was Tim.
Oh, that was Tim. Go ahead, Tim.
One thing happened. That fumble changed the whole game. It changed everything about the game with that fumble. When he fumbled that ball, that changed the whole trajectory of the game. The game changed, and the game plan changed for Baltimore. And so, you know, and especially when Kansas City came down and did what they did with him, right? And so starting to push the ball back the other way, and they never did score after that. And so then they, you know, of course, in the second half, he threw the interception. But that fumble changed everything, because at that time, it was going toe-to-toe. And so the energy probably would have been a whole lot different. That took the air out of them. Yeah. And they never did recover. And then he actually started acting like Daxon.
Right. That's true.
Yep. I think again, you know,
I think they were emotionally.
You know, when you think about it, he didn't really. And I get, you remember last I was saying that Patrick Mahomes' arm is really his legs. You remember me saying that? And I was talking about, you know, he don't really look to run first. He looked to pass first, and he will run if he have to. Well, when you think about it, he was 17 of 23 for 215 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he had a passer rating of 131.6 with no turnovers. Right? You know what, y'all? Let me hold off on that. I'm giving y'all the wrong stats. Hold on. My fault. I'm gonna give y'all 50 push-ups, man. Okay. Wrong stats. You can't be making them kind of. Where's my quality control? I can't make them kind of mistakes.
Whose stats did we just get?
I can't make them kind of mistakes, but that's okay. I will acknowledge my mistakes, sir. Okay, I give you I give you 25, give Tim 25 push-ups. But let's go back to the stats. Okay, I got them right here in front of me now. Okay, I got Mahomes. He was 30 of 39. Da. Tim's still
Yeah,
laughing
because he's
at me,
over
man.
300 yards. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, he's over 300.
Hey, that's a blooper moment on the replay, man. That's a blooper moment on the replay. But yeah, we got Patrick Mahomes, man. He was 30 of 39 for 241 yards.
Oh, I thought he had 300.
With 15 yards rushing. All right. And he had one touchdown. Yeah, and one touchdown. I think that's what they're showing. One touchdown. I think Travis Kelce had that, but he was 30 of 39. So and Lamar numbers was 20 of 37 with 272 yards, one touchdown. And he had less rush yards than he normally would have. So to DA's statement earlier, yeah, DA, I get it. It seemed like there were some times when I even thought, to be honest with you, man, there was some time when he could have probably ran with the football and maybe held the football a little bit longer. But do y'all recall on one of the replays when he was scrambling outside the pocket and they scanned the whole field as if everybody was covered downfield. And I said that's a sack. It wasn't. He missed the guy running. He was running a go route because the corner started coming up because he thought Lamar was about to break containment and start running. He just didn't throw the ball down the field. It was very late in the fourth quarter. The guy was running a streak right down the sideline, man, and Lamar never saw him, you know?
Yeah, he didn't see him. I was going to say that. He didn't see him.
But yeah, I agree with you to an extent, DA, that there were some opportunities I think he didn't take advantage of. I don't know if it was just nerves or he just wasn't trying to make mistakes or whatever the case may be. But in situations like that, man, you got to play your game, man. You gotta do what got you there. And that's what D. Ritchie was talking about. These people led the league in rushing, and they don't run the football. Now you're gonna get into a passing match with Patrick Mahomes? Are you kidding me? But go ahead, Tim. I thought you was about to say something, Tim.
Well, yeah. Before that fumble, he actually was looking pretty good. He throwing side-on passes and little stuff. I like, man, him and Mahomes going back and forth with the miracle passes and stuff like that. Mahomes do a jump pass. They were doing all kind of stuff. I'm like, okay, I see y'all quarterbacks and everything. And then after that fumble, man, and they had a hard time moving the ball that next time. That when he got deflated, and all of a sudden now he was scrambling. Actually, Kansas City defense has stood up for a couple of drives. And that was the opportunity, but there's still plenty of time in the second half. And plus, at the end of the game, end of the half, they had some stuff. But, it came down and they didn't execute very well. And he was being conservative on his slide. He didn't run the ball. To DA, we're talking about, he didn't run the ball with the same fervor at the beginning. So he didn't run that ball. He didn't dive for that extra yard. He was trying to slide real early instead of get 2 or 3 more yards, which would have made it easy for them to get the first down. Stuff like that. That's what he usually does. I was like, okay, maybe he's going to turn up a little bit later. He's trying to make sure he don't get hurt. He's playing conservative, kind of like what you said, Jabril. And but he never did. He never did turn up another notch. He never did.
No, he never did. And as they say on NBA tonight, time to go fishing. Time to go fishing.
Right.
And I'm surprised, man. And I'm glad that no one posted this, but I am surprised that no one posted in referencing Dak Prescott. They didn't reference Dak Prescott. I said, I'm not trying to hear that. I'm not trying to hear that. I get it to an extent, but I'm not trying to hear that. With the same woes that the Josh Allens have and the Lamar Jackson have and the quarterbacks have, and they try to deflect it off Dak as if to say, well, look at them pointing over there. Hey, man, I'm not trying to hear that. Now, if they want to do something like this, I may be up for this right here. How about if your quarterback haven't taken you to the NFC Championship, or AFC Championship game, or the Super Bowl, then how about swapping them out? For example, we send Dak to Cincinnati, and y'all give us Joe Burrow. If you can actually do that, to shake things up a little bit. I may be even open to that. What do you think, DA?
Yeah, man, you got to do something. Like he's shown he can't get you there, and he ain't gonna get you there. So you got to do something, man. You just got to do something. That's real.
Since y'all in fantasy land, just let me have Dax and Allen then. Okay, just let me combine all three of them. I have Dax and Allen. Ain't neither one of them made it to where they need to go, where they want to go. So we'll just take Dax and Allen since we in fantasy line, and we just combine all three of them with their capability. Maybe one of them will have enough mindset, enough control, and enough emotional control to go ahead and finish the game.
I'll take Josh over all three of them. I mean, if I had to pick from the three, I'd take Josh.
You got to give me insights.
I'll take Josh.
Would?
Cause he you know he gonna go down fight. I take Josh because you know he gonna fight. He gonna go down fighting. He might throw an interception, but he ain't gonna quit. He is gonna keep. You gonna have to keep like he's coming. The rest of them like, oh, Dak ain't there today. Oh, what's wrong with Lamar? He at home. He won't even run. What I like about Josh Allen is he gonna keep firing at your butt until the whistle blow.
Yeah, but he gonna make some mistakes.
Yeah, but I'm gonna have somebody make some.
And he gonna make some mistakes at the biggest games. So
what is Lamar and Dak done?
Yeah, but I like Lamar. If I was gonna pick one for
I don't
Dallas,
want Lamar on my
Lamar
team. I don't want Lamar on my team. Period.
I'm gonna take Lamar for Dallas. I make him. Yeah. He be all right for Dallas. With the players Dallas has. Yeah, he do well with Dallas.
Right. Yeah, I agree with
That's why I pick for Dallas. So.
Yeah, for that, yeah.
I think if he stayed healthy, I would take Joe Burrow. If he was able to stay healthy.
Oh, we just switching all the quarterbacks then. I take Joe Burrow too. We're gonna take all. I'm taking Joe Burrow too because that boy.
Well, I mean,
he throw it on the line. And if you can block for him, because Cincinnati ain't been blocking for him. I'm telling you that already. You can block for him. You get him healthy. He gonna take care of business.
Yeah, I think I have to take Joe Burrow, man. If I had my quarterback of choice, but I do think, man, even though I know that's fantasy land, like Tim just stated, man. I mean, but I was just sitting there thinking, like, man, if your quarterback, and all of them do, they all are sitting on the same couch. So yeah, if your quarterback don't take you to the Super Bowl or the NFC or AFC Championship in like 5 years, there'll be some type of written rule where you can swap. You know what I'm saying? You can just swap. You know, that'll be real interesting, man. We got somebody else chatting now. I got Miss Lolita in the house, man. She said she just stopping by, but she just popping in to say, hey, what's going on, Lolita? Glad you can join us, man. Yeah, we're going to get into another, on our cultural segment, we will be talking about and discussing something that was very interesting, but I got to set that up, man, because we got a chat out. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but we had a chat on a particular post that I posted about our conversation last week, guys, about all the ladies, why there are so many ladies being single. So we're gonna get into that on the third segment of the show. But for right now, we're gonna keep it going with these NFL playoff games. And so we're gonna segue right now. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the corner there because stick a fork in the Baltimore Ravens. They're done. Another year down the drain. How you get up, pick yourself off the mat and start it all over again, you just do. So they end the same.
Yeah, just do it. That's what you do.
Yeah, it's a long process. But now let's segue over here, man, to that. I had to say the best for last, just simply because they was the second game and it was a night game, and I was just dreading even have to even talk about this game because the same thing I said early in the year about the Philadelphia Eagles, about how they don't have a rabbit foot. They got the whole dang on rabbit. That's how I'm feeling about these doggone San Francisco 49ers. And DA, I'm gonna come to you first about these pesky, lucky, you name it, San Francisco 49ers. Go ahead and hit me out, brother. Tell us what you saw, man.
Yeah, man. They say when luck meets preparation, man, it equals a win. When you're lucky and you prepared. I ain't saying that was the case last night because we were not prepared at all.
I was about to say, are you sure about that?
Not at all. Man, ain't no way we should have won that game. Like, somebody had to answer for that on Detroit side because ain't no way you can dominate the Niners that bad and let them come back and win that game. I'm talking about dominate. It wasn't no fluky nothing. It was, we're going to run at y'all. Y'all ain't going to, man, Fred Warner and them was in the wrong holes all night last night. Them boys was running through them, around them, DBs bumping into each other. I was like, what team is it? Yep. I know y'all not really good against the run, but y'all look like a Pop Warner team right now. Man, they had no answer for them. How is it that us, when the halftime is over, all of a sudden Detroit just can't do what, like, if they just did half of what they did the first half, The game ain't close. So, and I'm telling you, the first half, I was like, get rid of Purdy. Like, he ain't ready. Like, you can't wait. You can't keep waiting at home to go play. Like, you gotta. The way he came out the second half is the way he needs to come out the first possession of the game. Like, we coming out to do something. Like, we can't just. They so timid, man, and I hate that. I hate a timid quarterback. I hate a timid defensive coordinator. It just burns me up when people are over there and things are happening and they're not they're not doing anything. This guy did not put any pressure on Goff the whole really didn't put any pressure on the second or third quarter either.
First coordinator Steve Wilkes.
Man, he's like, and they talked about a stat where he played against them when he was at Carolina. His defense against them ran zone like 90% of the time, and Detroit like beat the crap out of them. So I'm like, Goff ain't good with pressure.
Right.
They completing passes on you anyway. Send somebody up the middle, man, and make this dude have to move and run. You got to make him do something. It's like Dak. You can't let Dak sit back there. He'll light you up. You got to put his head on the turf every. I would have been third and 18. I'm blitzing. Like, no, don't let him sit back there. Y'all have shown you can't cover him. So what are you doing, bro? Like, I hope he's not coming back next year because, man, he ain't the answer. I mean, he's a brother and everything, but he ain't the answer.
Well, DA, one thing I will say about you being a 49ers fan, you have been one of the most honest 49er fans that I've had.
I'm just football. I just look at football. I don't care who the team.
Listen, if I had Curtis on here, Curtis Blow, he be posting as if like, really? So you really think y'all just came out there and just blew this team out? I'll be laughing on the inside because I'm saying to myself, lucky. Man, because you're down 24-7. And I actually went and watched the game somewhere. When I text you, I was really taken back, man. I'm sitting there going, wait a minute. Yeah. The score was like 24-10. And when I was texting you and I was telling you who was gonna be in the Super Bowl, I told Wooty World.
Yeah, we saw. I was like, what is he talking about?
And I told y'all who gonna be in the Super Bowl. And all of a sudden, I look up and I was checking the score because we were trying to get to another spot, right? I look up and it's 24-24. I said, wait a minute, man. Wait a minute. Look here. I can't even lie to y'all. I went to somebody post because I posted on it was my cousin. I'm gonna put that out there. And I told you what the Super Bowl. I had to go back and erase it.
Yep. Yep.
I was in a quick TJ. I was like, oh man, that's gonna be too. Let me go back. I gotta erase that, man, real quick. So I don't know if he even saw it because he never texted me back. So yeah, I had to go back. I mean, I done jumped the gun and everything. 24-24. And then they was, this lucky, Jamar Gibbs. Now I gotta say this, we ain't doing shout-outs right now, but I gotta give it up for my youngster Tayshaun Gibson out of Dallas Kimmel High School by way of Wyoming University. But he was with the Oak Cliff Jets, my prodigy. I put him at free safety. Yeah, I'm bragging, I'm boasting. He came up and forced that fumble on Jamar Gibbs. So it's all good. Big shout out to him. But that turnover was key right there, man. And this ricochet ball off this guy's helmet. I mean, the defensive back, man, who had beautiful coverage, but he just didn't have the proper timing, man. And Ayuk, man, sit there and catch that ball out of the 3 balls that he actually caught. You know what I'm saying? But they made the plays when they were supposed to make the play, TJ. So what you got to say? What's your thoughts on it, man?
Well, first of all, let me get back to your story because that had me laughing because you said somewhere on there talking about, Tim was talking about that secondary and all that kind of stuff. No, I wasn't talking about the whole secondary. I was talking about not individual guys. I was talking about the whole secondary, which they did in the second half. So you talking about how they came back? I said, I'm going to wait till the show. They came back because they started giving up the ball. He got picked apart. The pass defense was giving it up like it was it was just a shower or something. You know what I'm saying? Hey, let's go out and take a shower. So everybody was catching the ball. It was raining everywhere. But let's get back to the Neanderthal. You talking about somebody has some courage or determination to do what he gonna do, right? That Neanderthal over there. I know he got some Neanderthal in that Coach Dan Campbell in there who said, I don't care what you're gonna do. I don't care what's best for my team. I don't care that they're not really moving the ball. I could, forget kicking this field goal. It would put us even farther up. No. Forget the other field goal I'm supposed to do. No. We're gonna run this on fourth down.
Right.
We're not even running the ball well, but we're gonna run this on fourth down anyway. That Neanderthal thinking that he has, hey, we're just gonna keep running. You know how you play in the game, it just keep running to something like this, and it don't stop. You don't know how to go around.
Right.
That's him. He just don't. He refuses. I got a mentality, and that mentality is we gonna just keep running into it, and we're just gonna bull you over.
Right.
Well, you can't do that all the time. This game is a thinking game. This ain't just no power game. This game got finesse in it. That's why we have that's why it's strategic. It's strategic because of that. We do strategy to this game. That's why people love it so much, because there's so many things to analyze and so many things you can do. And this dude keeps doing the same exact thing. He think he was Cowboys back in '94. You just keep running down somebody's throat until they can't take it no more.
Right.
No, Detroit ain't got it like that.
Let's see some of these highlights, because the way Detroit came out, man. I mean, hold on for a second. Let me take these boys down right quick, because the way Detroit came out, you could not have asked for a better effort from your team. The way the start that they got, man, was just impeccable, man. I mean, and you already playing when you down, 7 points. So they, I always tell you when you're going into someone else's backyard, and there's always this sudden, where we're going to come out flat, or we're going to have a sense of urgency. How are we going to actually come out? And you couldn't ask for a better way to come out, man. To
talk about what Tim was alluding to on this Neanderthal thinking. Like, they just gashed us. And look at everybody jog. It was so many people jogging right there, man.
I mean, Williams come out beautiful one. I mean, that's how you set the tempo, man. You come out, you score, you strike first, you get the ball, you strike first, you come back. Montgomery, man, doing his thing. Now you're down 14-0. But go ahead, DA.
Man, I was talking about what Tim was talking about, this Neanderthal thinking, and they use analytics as an excuse not to make intelligent decisions, because what most people don't realize when it comes to analytics, here's this lucky catch. Yeah, once he caught that, I was like, yeah, we probably win now. But anyway, when it comes to analytics is just numbers. It doesn't tell you we ain't scored in a quarter and a half. It doesn't tell you we need to do something to break this momentum. It doesn't tell you we need to go up. We need this 3 and any other 3 that we can get, because it will cause them an extra possession or 2, and they may not have the time to do that, especially if it's in the second half. That's what analytics doesn't tell you. Analytics doesn't say we're at San Francisco. It doesn't say their crowd is trying to get back in this game. We need to kick this field goal because if we don't make it, this game is going to go the other way. Analytics doesn't tell you that. You have to say, man, the situation ain't about analytics. We need these points. We need these points.
Hey, DA, you see this? I say, speaking about analytics, you see that red right there, and that blue, all that blue was on the incline. When it started to do right here, and the red started to pick up, it's time to get out the trade.
Right.
It's trying to get out the trade. So yeah,
right.
You
got to sell.
DA.
Time to sell.
Does not, and sometimes you got to do what the percentages says. What would make sense. I heard something that was former North Carolina basketball coach, the great Dean Smith, and they was talking about, if y'all recall, back in I forget exactly what year it was, but anyway, everybody remember the play when Seattle went down there, rushed all the way down there with Marshawn Lynch, and then he decided to throw a freaking ball on the 1-yard line. Did not run the football to actually win the game. He wanted to play hero ball. And they were saying, well, was that the right play? Everybody, all the pundits came out with saying this and saying that. And I heard something that Dean Smith said that made perfect sense. He simply said, when in doubt, when you in a situation like that, do what do what the great majority of the people that's in the arena or in the stands would do, so that at the end of the day you still right. Because what is the greatest percentage? I guarantee if you poll everybody in that stadium, they would have said run the ball, get a ball to Marshawn Lynch, and let him score the touchdown. But that's not what Coach Pete Carroll did. He wanted to make Russell Wilson the hero, and you see it cost him. And so these are the kind of things, man, that some of these coaches, you know, and I'm gonna talk about this a little bit later because we're gonna have another as we move and segue into this African American History Month for the next show. I'm gonna talk about some things that I've kind of noticed with some of these coaches in the NFL and so forth, and all this stuff talking about the Rooney Rule and all of that, right? But when you look at this stuff, man, in the scope of everything, you sit back and watch these coaches making these decisions, trying to play this hero ball instead of doing something that's so logical that everybody would do, even if you didn't make it on the 1 yard line, it still would be the right call and will make sense because it's the greater majority. It will make sense to run the football if this man got you down to the 1 yard line. Why would you? That's like running a reverse on your own 5 yard line. Tim, you know they coach. You don't run no reverse on your own 5 or 10 yard line. You just don't do those kind of things. So for this guy to sit here, you would think that he would have learned his lesson when they played the Dallas Cowboys. No, right. Not him. Not the great Dan Campbell. And I'm telling you something, man. I'm looking at my guy, Aaron Glenn over the AG, and I'm saying to myself, you know, what are the chances they would elevate him to head coaching ranks? I mean, it may be slim to none, but I'm just simply saying, because we've seen it happen before where a coach may have built a team, but man, in crucial moments, you make those kind of decisions. You know what? Why not elevate him? Because he got the attention of the team too. And let's see how this thing will go. But I know they're going to run it back with Dan Quinn. I mean, excuse me, not Dan Quinn, but Dan Campbell once again, man. But this guy, man, I'm talking about, this loss falls squarely on his shoulders. It just does. Because every time they was 4th and 3, they went for it on 4th down. And I'm saying, dude, kick the field goal. Kick the field goal. Because you were still down 10. You could have got the ball maybe the last time and then could have drove instead of getting the field goal. You could have been going for the touchdown. But once again, ego got in the way. Just like DA just said, ego got in the way, man.
I told y'all that when they played Dallas. I was saying the same thing about him. I'm telling y'all, man, this guy, he like to do something like that. Like, man, you playing for home field advantage, the number 1 seed. You on the road. I get the thinking because it was a lot of people defending him today saying, well, that's how he's been doing all year. But like, yeah, that might have cost him the number 1 seed. And if we had gone to play in that dome, we wouldn't have been able to make it back if we get down that far. So you got to be thinking about that, man. Let me go and beat the Cowboys. That way 49ers can't rest nobody. They got to play their whole starting lineup next week. Like, we want that number 1 seed. Like, kick the extra point in Dallas, take it to overtime, and try to win the game. And then it just goes to show you, because so many people defended him today, he's probably gonna do this same thing next year because he didn't regret it. He said it at the podium last night. No, I don't regret it. I'm like, man, sometimes you got to say, man, I was wrong about that. I should have kicked one of those field goals. That shows you.
But TJ, before
let the Neanderthal thinking. Go ahead,
man.
And Neanderthal, that's what he is.
But listen, between Jared Goff and Brock Purdy stats, right? Jared Goff didn't play a bad game. He was 25 or 41. Now, I think with the running game of Jahmyr Gibbs and Dave Montgomery, I thought they should have ran the ball a little bit more because they weren't really stopping the run. But he passed 41 times, so he was 25 or 41 for 273 yards. Didn't have no interceptions. Had one fumble, though. One fumble, but he had a passing QBR rating of 88.8%. Purdy numbers, on the other hand, he was 20 of 31 with 267 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick with an 89.0 QBR rating. So they was very close. The difference what separated the two was Purdy and his rush yards because he had 5 carries for 48 yards, and they was critical runs. So my hats off to Purdy. When it was time to make a play, he made a play. He certainly made a play, man. So with that being said, the 49ers, I mean, like it or not, they hung in there and, they persevered and prevailed and went through not playing so well the first half and really, just really, seeming out of sync. Um, but they held their own and stayed the course and came out with a win. But you was about to say
Well,
what though, Tim?
that's the key part you just said. The tale of two halves, which it was. It was a tale of two halves. Purdy played. He didn't play so good the first half, just like Da had alluded to earlier. He didn't play well the first half. That second half, woo!
You could tell the difference on the first drive.
Yeah, he was totally different. He came out and he said, "You know what? I got this. I'm gonna do this, right?" And then when they came back, of course, with a couple of lucky plays to go along with it, right? Because the bounce off the helmet, boy, I tell you, off the face mask, boy, that's something, boy, I tell you. But after that happened, and then that, because they already did on the first drive anyway. But after that happened, it was like Detroit was like, woo, they was on their heels, and even they still had a 7-point lead. They still was on their heels, and even though they kind of went down, and they had an opportunity to kick a field goal or when it was tied, they still was on it here. The coach wasn't thinking that way, but the players were playing that way. So that's the difference. The coach, he don't, he kind of like he a gladiator. He in the middle of the arena. He like, hey, let's go, right? And the players over there like, hey, man, what's going on? Because the quarterback, he was a little, he got started to be a little bit off, not hitting the shots, and then they was rushing him like crazy. The pass rush started to get to him too. That was a big thing in the second half. Mm-hmm. Pass rush played really well for San Francisco in the second half.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this, without making any kind of prediction, because we know we got 1 week before we get into the Super Bowl picks or whatever. So we'll come back, God willing. We'll have the show again on Monday before we get into that. But I would just simply say it like this: that San Francisco, they got some self fact checking to do in terms of how they come out and how they want to play. Because I can tell you right now, I don't think they're gonna be able to get away with it against the Kansas City Chiefs if they come out the way they've been coming out these last few weeks. But then Derek Ritchie, he said now that Dan Campbell, he go for it on 4th down, 24-10. He say also get your points, Dan. He said it's just a championship game. He says it's 24-7 if he were to do that. But he went for it on 4th down. Yeah, right on. And everybody agree, man. I mean, get your points. I mean, if I know for a fact I'm gonna play the percentage goal with my gut feeling, I know I need points. I mean, 3 + 3, they add up. To me, that's called geometric progression. Geometric progression. I always say, man, if you jump one time and then jump 3 times, that still add up. It still add up. It may not look like it's a big or great jump, but gotta slow walk this thing. You know what I'm saying? Those points add up. But he don't seem to get that, man. And so again, and the ones I feel sorry for the most, I even feel sorry for the fans of Detroit more than I do for the player. Because honestly, man, I wanted to see Detroit, the city that filed bankruptcy, man. A lot has been going on in Motown. And I could just kind of remember when Dallas back in 92, man, when we had lost in 91 and we had to go to San Francisco to play. And I just remember, that ethereal feeling, man, that heavenly feeling that you have when your team finally, conquer the mountains, so to speak, and then actually go up there and win it and win the whole thing. So, man, I know it was it was definitely a blue Monday for those Detroit Lions fans, man. So, but great season, man. Hats off to them, man. They gave it the best shot, and he lost the game 34-31. But hopefully they can build on this, and maybe they do learn from it. So, guys, this is what we got to do, man. This is what we got to do. It's going to get real interesting here. Okay, because let me set this up on the replay. Don't forget, y'all, who's chatting out, man. Tell a friend, hit that subscribe, like, and share button. We'll continue to try to grow the channel, man, with this space that we're in. We've had some great conversations, some great content. We want to continue to build on that. So y'all don't forget to hit that subscribe, like, and share button. So now, let me get into this conversation. Let me set the later predicate, as they say, about the next segment before we do on the show, the culture part of the show. Yes, we got the sports. Yes, we got all the conversations about the sports and all this, but we have the culture that we have to get into. I want to get into this specific conversation, right? Tim, DA. I think Book may come back and join us. I know he had a meeting he had to run to, but hopefully he'll be able to join us before we get off the air. When we did the conversation last week, why are there so many ladies that are single? And I posted an excerpt of that, like I normally do, had to upload. Well, that was one young lady. She didn't have a picture, she didn't have a profile. So that told me something right there. You got to hide behind your profile. You won't even put your picture up, right? But she had something to say, which wasn't very uh, intellectual, if you will. It was really more than anything. Because you hear this sometime a lot. Get out of women's business. This is what she said. Get out of women's business. Okay, fine, fair enough. But let's see what your business actually is when you're talking about the creation. Let's talk about the creation. Now, I put up, I put up on the segment of this particular topic, natural versus BBL. Natural versus BBL. For those of you who don't know what BBL is, that's this Brazilian butt lift that they're doing. Now, give me just a second because I'm gonna bring something up. Just a second right here. I want to set the stage for what I'm about to bring tonight on this particular episode. Okay, so this is the question: natural versus BBL. I actually had this up, but I got to go further down into it. Y'all just give me just a second because this was interesting how certain things are perceived, especially in the African American community. And some women, I'm not gonna say all, y'all always hear me say some. I always try to clarify that. I don't know if this is it or not, but let me see. I hope so it is. Let me see. Oh, no, that's not, I ain't talking about that crazy guy. Let me
That
find
wasn't
the
even
one.
close.
Yeah, I'm not talking. We did a subject on that one months ago.
Yeah, I
DA.
remember that one.
You remember
Yeah.
that one too? You
Mm-hmm.
remember that one? Yeah, y'all give me just bear with me.
Yeah,
But this
the
particular
parking
topic was
lot.
interesting, like I said, because um, I heard this. I've heard it before. It's not something new. Um, but I've heard it before. They want men to stay out of their business as if men cannot tell them uh how to dress or what to do or this is my body. I got, you know. So we're gonna get into that. We got to get into that because they took this poll. They took this poll, and I know sometimes you gotta put these on. You gotta quit playing, Da.
Yeah, you ain't trying to be cute, man. Put them eyes on.
Yeah, I had this down in the but they took this poll, man, and I was just like, okay, fair enough. And we're gonna talk about it because what you're trying to sell in society to our younger generation, as they say, old folks like to say, that dog ain't gonna hunt. So when you tell us to push back or get out of the business of women, well, let's just see
How do
about
you
that.
do that? I don't understand how you do that. Like, you can't give your opinion. We were asked to give our opinion, and we gave.
Yeah, I mean, speak on it though, Da. Oh, here it is. Hold on, here it is. So listen to this. I'm setting the predicate for this. I want y'all to listen to this very carefully, okay? Now, this is not the best video right here because I had to do it a certain way, but I got what I can get, and hopefully y'all can hear it.
Men prefer a natural body or a BBL? BBL. 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 Do you prefer natural bodies or BBL bodies? Natural. 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 Do you think men prefer a natural?
Okay, was y'all able to hear that fine? I'll play it again if you can't.
We heard it.
Okay.
No, it's simple.
A natural body
We
or a
heard it
BBL?
fine.
BBL. 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 Do you prefer natural bodies or BBL bodies? Natural. 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 Do you think men prefer a natural?
Okay, guys. Now, the question was the young lady heard asked all the girls, they was in the mall, and these were young people. That's why I was glad the demographics was right there for what I want to segue into. So she asked them, do you think guys go for natural or BBL? And as y'all heard, all the young ladies, they said BBL, 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 BBL. This Brazilian butt lift. She put the microphone in front of all the young men. All of them say natural, 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 you know. And I thought
Right.
I found some humor in it. And then it takes me back to what the young lady was saying on the post that we did about why there are so many women that are single. Well, I can just easily say that y'all, because y'all don't really listen to what men are saying. When you're overboard, when you're doing too much, when you're not paying attention to the little details of what we're talking about. I understand that it works both ways, but listen, I'm a numbers guy. Most of you out there that know me, you can chat out if you want to. We're going to respond to those too. I always talk about the numbers because numbers don't lie. They just don't lie. And so my deal is, when you're talking about what's going on in the African American community, it is the women who are going down there filing for divorce. It is the women that's, leading way of single parent homes, this, that, another. And then we can go on and on and on. Now, their response is always, well, what did the guy do to make her go down there and file for divorce? You see what I'm saying? But I'm quite sure most real men, we're talking about men, we're not talking about boys, we're talking about real men who articulate themselves very well and explain to you what it is that they want, what it is that they're looking for. 9 times out of 10, you get pushback like the young lady who left the post. Herein lies why I raised the topic and the issue this evening. Natural versus BBL. Now, you heard the young people have spoken. So I got some more to say on it, but I'm gonna come to you first, DA, because you started to go into this particular subject matter. So I want to go ahead and get you your take on it.
I think it's for me it's a mental thing. Like, for example, if I knew a woman had fake breasts or BBL or injections in her butt or in her lips or whatever, that's all my mind is kind of thinking about, is like, that ain't real. Like, that's the breast, it's just your mind kind of takes over and you thinking this is not real. If you were in a situation where you, like, if I touch that, that's not real. Like, is this, I go into I will go into a discovery mode. Like, okay, I'm trying to see this. I know this fake under here is what kind of material is this? It just takes away from the naturalness of the whole connection. You would think it would be like, man, is and will I pop that? Or I don't know. I'm just saying it would my mind would just take me away from the situation to where I'm like, nah, I just rather have something that's real. Y'all can keep the silicone and the injections, and it's just not me, because my mind would roam too much, and it would just lose the whole connection or relationship would just lose its naturalness. So that's just my opinion. Yeah, women do what they want. It's like I have a right to choose, So
Absolutely.
do what you want. I do what I want.
You say what, TJ?
Well, it's that wow factor, pow. That's what women think. Women think this of men. Think about what they're saying. Think about the women. They kept saying what men would think, BBL, 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 right? They saying what we think. So that's why we have an opinion, because they're telling us what we think. See, that's the question. See, the whole part is this. Women saying, hey, men shouldn't speak about it, asking a question about what men think. And then they actually have an opinion that's actually opposite of what men think, right? Because they think we want the wow factor. That's why they do the things they do. They wear their dresses real short. They want the wow factor, okay? The sexual, what's called. They want the breasts all puffed out. The wow factor. All these are wow factors that actually gets attention. The whole key word, attention. See, attention don't mean you're going to get a ring. Attention means somebody going to want to sex you. Bottom line. So do you want to be sexed or do you want to be married? Men are telling you that if you want to be married, go natural. But if you want to get sex, there are men that are BBL. I'm natural anyway. I don't really give a rat's about no BBL, all that kind of stuff. That don't wow factor me. Matter of fact, it does look, like a train wreck. You go and look like, whoa, or you see something you ain't seen on a UFO. Whoa, wow, well, look at that. It's a UFO.
Right.
Nobody want to get in that UFO. We don't know where we're going.
Yeah, and
We're
most of them
going
are a
to get
miss.
lost in all of that. So
Most of them
if
are a
it's
miss.
real and natural, it's a blessing, right? And then
Right.
also, this person's healthy. We care about your health. See, that's the whole part. We care about your health. We don't just care about what you look on the outside. We care about what you on the inside. And we care about how long you're gonna live with us. We don't want you for no short time. If I'm gonna marry you, I want you for my lifetime. I don't want you for no short
Not
time.
no short time, but
Otherwise,
the
you
lifetime.
just somebody I'm dating. Yeah. So BBL is a short time thing. Short time. Summertime. Springtime.
Hmm.
Not the winter time. you want somebody
No,
long time.
I like that.
So yeah. So
Yeah,
go ahead. What's your thoughts on it, Jabril?
but TJ, when you get into the history of this thing, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
all this was founded by a Brazilian doctor. You're starting around in 1960, right? And I did a little research about it, and it began to pick up steam, with these socialites like the Kim Kardashians. So it became popular around 2010, and
Sure.
a lot of women have had a lot of problems with this particular surgery. They say out of any plastic surgery, it's one of the most painful and high risk surgeries there is. This Brazilian butt lift that they're talking about, and you got uh, socialite celebrities like Black China who took it out of her. She was, they were talking about how some of these people bus was dropping. I remember what's the singer
K
name?
Michelle. K
K
Michelle.
Michelle. Thing about
Mm-hmm.
K Michelle. She had her whole episode with it. And some of these women was getting this stuff so they wanted it so bad until they was actually shooting themselves in the behind with whatever they was battery acid, I guess what it was, or some freeze on stuff that they put in your car, you know, freeze on, whatever the case, and and that's
Yeah,
the
Freon.
sad
Mm-hmm.
of all of this, and what Tim was expressing about your health, and we know that our health is our greatest wealth, and these young people who are watching these people that are in front of them thinking that, oh, this is the thing to do to get a man, this is what you have to do to attract a man, and it's not. It goes back to what Tim just stated in regards to, a guy he can look at that, he can feast off that, but can you get married off that? But you say what though, Tim?
Yeah, well, you said the key word. The key is that you don't want to be married. Not if you actually in the right frame of mind, because you're already talking about somebody who has low self-esteem, right? They don't feel good about their natural body as it is. Now we understand about enhancements a little bit here and there because they have trouble doing something, and sometimes because of operation people have for the stomach because they're having a hard time. They have a hernia or something. Some different things happen for people who need some help on some things, right? But I'd rather for you to work out and get your little small curve, right? Than be up there and trying to get this big old giant thing that's in the way that's actually gonna cause you bad health. And then also, what does that mean to us? What kind of relationship do we have? We have one that's fake, building. We're gonna build fake stuff and build a castle on, an ice castle and stuff like that. Nothing real. So we don't want to be with nothing that's not real. We want to be something that's real because we want to live a long time with you. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm gonna play a quick clip of an individual, man. God rest his soul. But when he first came out, he was definitely a polarizing individual, speaking about women and these high value men. But I'm gonna play a clip
Does plastic surgery, does that
of Kevin Shamler talking about this very
ultimately
thing.
help
The
or
late
hurt
Kevin
women
Samuel.
when it comes to relationships with men?
Now this is where it goes personal. In my personal opinion, there's something. It's all on a sliding scale. There's nips and tucks, slight adjustments, but we're getting to the point to where it's becoming comical. I live in Atlanta, and I'm looking at some women that have some of those comical proportions. Jessica Rabbit was a cartoon character for a reason. But now we're starting to see women who have these impossibly small waists, really large hip to waist ratio, really large butts. But what you're not seeing is a lot of these women with, where are their husbands? And who are they married to if they are married? I look at the outcome. Look on their left finger and say, are you married to a man that you value? And the answer probably would shock most people.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of an interesting type of thing because you look on the internet and it seems like the girls with plastic surgery seem to be winning because when you look at a lot of these kind of women that are with celebrity guys, you know,
Mm-hmm.
Nicki Minaj, Ari Fletcher, I mean, even Lori Harvey
Mm-hmm.
had plastic surgery. You see them with these superstar men.
Mm-hmm.
Now, most times they're not married, but I mean, Sweetie, same thing with Quavo. I mean, et cetera, et cetera. They're usually not married, but they're with the guy. Sometimes they have a kid,
Mm-hmm.
with that man. Little baby's, baby mother, I believe Jada. She's had some work done and so forth. They have a kid with this man. They're not married, but they're living the lavish lifestyle. They're showing off all their Dior and their Hermes bags and everything. And I think a lot of women say, "Oh, that's the key. That's the easy fix. I just need to have a huge ass, get a bunch of lipo. If my boobs are, kind of saggy, I'll perk them up. I'll go to DR, spend $20,000, $30,000, and then I'll go get a superstar and wear Dior and ball out. But I feel it's a little bit deceiving because you're right. These women are not married.
Right. So on my Instagram the other night, I had a woman who came in to my show, and she fit that characteristic, and she said it herself. I, you know, I dated rappers and athletes and all this other kind of stuff, and she's got the surgeries and everything else. But yet, if you listen to her, she says, "I wish I'd have stayed with the guy that was a normal guy a few years ago that I had, because that's the guy I should have married." That's why I look. That's why I said I put athletes, entertainers, and musicians over here, and I look at most people, and I look at the outcomes. Are If the outcome you want is to be married with children, if that's what you say you want, who's getting that done?
Okay, so there you have a little bit of the late Kevin Samuel speaking about this same topic or same issue. Now, one of the things I want to make sure that I get my point across when we start talking about altering uh, the body, whether if it's male or female, whether if it's male or female, when we're talking about altering the body, I don't go off of my own opinion. So to the young lady, when I do upload this again, I want you to listen. I want the ladies who are listening to this, that's sitting in the audience or maybe even, chatting out. I go off of what God says, not what Jabril say, but what God, the Creator, says. This book right here, our sacred scripture, and it's clear for us. And I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read it in the English, and I'm gonna talk about one Arabic word. But the translation simply says, "He it is who shapes you in the womb as He pleases. There is no God except Him. This one God, the exalted in might and the wise." And this word that is translated when it says huwaladi yasari kun fi, this word means to fashion. It means to shape. It means to pay attention to detail. So if you was a clothes designer and you was designing an outfit and you got the person's perfect measurements and you were shaping this person and fashioning this outfit for this person, this is what God is saying from our sacred scriptures of the Quran. I'm the one who shaped you in the womb of your mother. I'm the exalted, and might is pleased with his design. And his design is paid close attention to detail. So however you come out, because people say, well, what about people that was born with a cliff? Or what about people that was born with, disfiguration and stuff like that? God has many designs. You may not understand it because He haven't blessed you with the knowledge to understand it from a scientific perspective, which we've come a long way because we know we can go back to medieval days. People that was born decrepit and had these different forms and stuff like that. They thought they was cursed back then because of the limited knowledge that they had on the subject, not knowing that now God wanted to improve humanity by allowing you to stretch your thinking and your mind to come up with medicines and things, technology that would offset those things that he challenges us on. And so it's not that God makes mistakes. No, God is perfect in everything that he does. But it challenges the mind of the human being, the human family, to come up with the ideas to go get that technology. Like we know that for every disease, God has sent down a cure. We know this. In Islam, we know this, that for every cure, God has sent down, or for every disease, excuse me, God has sent down a cure for that disease. But it's up to people who work in those medical fields to go find what the cure is. The cure is out there. But people play a lot of games in the medical field because they make it one big, it's just a big money thing. But the
Yeah.
but the cure for the disease is out there. Why we know? Because God say that it is. But so some of the cures that are being discovered and found today, that probably wasn't discovered and found back in the 16, 17, 1800s, they're finding them today and using modern technology and science today. So science is very prevalent. It's very important to understand that. So when women get into this thing, they look in the mirror, and that's one of the deadly sins. You start talking about narcissism and stuff like that. You want to change and alter this. You want to, do this to yourself and all that. I humbly remind you, the verse that I just wrote. He it is who shapes you in the womb of your mother. God did that. He made you perfect in every description, in every way. Now we make and go and get, and I know I get it because somebody, and I can hear the women now. But that's what the guys go after. That's what they go after. No, that's what reprobated minds do. That's what reprobated minds do. Really thinking, man. See, that's a natural woman. Now we might see this first, right? That's the anatomy. This is the woman that had the butt lift, y'all. See the little bitty waist and the butt lift, right?
Yeah.
But you don't know what's going to happen over 5, 10, 15-year period of that, right? But a real man, yeah, he might get with him. He might get with her. But I could rest assured that when you're talking about marriage, he's going to choose that woman right there, that natural woman. The very thing that God's talking about in that scripture right there, how he shapes us in the womb of our mother. So be proud of who you are. But I'm gonna come to you, Tim,
Mm-hmm.
and speak on that. That's what I wanted to share, man. Because
Oh, that's
again, man, you
perfect time.
got a lot of these ladies out here thinking that that's it, man. That's what guys really gravitate to, and that's what we all about. No, that's only for a moment. That's only for a moment. But you say what though?
Since so many women are not listening, that's the whole key. What the video you showed earlier, what it really struck me was that so many women are not listening. So if they don't want to listen to us, right? I bet my daughter will. But if they don't want to listen to us, I'm going to say this to the young men. There's a big warning out there. Listen to these women. They telling you a story. There's a big warning. And it seems like the young men are listening because they're saying natural. So keep listening. Women that are doing that are traps. They have a reason for it. They spend money in that area. They want money back. They want a rate of return. So they're looking for a return. And I'll tell you, it's real easy because you can see it in this. Most athletes, after 5 years of their career is over, after they retire, get divorced.
Mm-hmm.
So what does that say? They was only with them for the ride, for the status, for what was going on at the time, all the stuff. And as soon as everything slowed down, they not with that man, they with that athlete. The athlete's gone, and the man is still there, and they not with him anymore.
Right.
So listen, find somebody who wants you for you, who value you just like you value them. See, that's what we're talking about. High value is how you value somebody. Forget all the other little things they're saying out there. You value them. Find somebody you value and find for somebody who values you, right? So that's the whole key. They have to value you. If they don't value, they're not worth your time. Simple as that. Listen, young men, they have to value you. You, not your career. Not what you're doing, but who you are.
Right, agree. Well, before we close on this particular segment, DA, you got anything else you want to speak on that?
Man, just real quick, man. I noticed like back when I used to watch the Basketball Wives series.
Right.
It just hit me one day that there's only probably one natural woman on the show, and that's Jackie Christie, Doug's wife. Every other woman on that show had something done, whether it was boobs or butt or not one of those women were married. Like Jackie's the only natural one. She's the only one got a husband. The other one, it shouldn't have even been called basketball wives. None of them were married to basketball stars anymore. And then the guys that came after only came after they saw them on the show exposing breast and butt, and it's a different kind of guy. And more times than not, they won't make it with those guys. You'll see them on social media flaunting these guys and these relationships, and then another year or so you don't hear anything else about those relationships, or do you hear that they broke up? Because they all based on fiction.
Yeah, it's
This
synthetic.
fiction. It's all based on fiction. So I just thought I'd share that I noticed that
No,
on that show.
absolutely, man. Absolutely. And I definitely I can concur with that because again, man, I'm not saying that you know, some women won't win with that figuring and all this other stuff. But I just remind you, I just read the scripture that God is the one who shapes you in the womb of your mother, and he know exactly what he's doing. So when you sit there and you try to convince me or another man or another brother or somebody in society that this is you, this is your mindset thinking, I just kind of look at you like, real delusional, like, because I'm saying, well, argue that with God on the day. I always tell people, you think you can just, like, if somebody came and hey Daryl, can I borrow your car? You got a brand new Porsche outside. Say, go ahead, take the keys. You give them the keys, they come back and it's scarred, marked up, dents and everywhere. First thing you gonna say, man, hey man, what you do to my car? Where did you go? Who hit my car? Then what do you think that God gonna say when you get back to the Creator? You didn't create yourself. Who told you to do this all to yourself like that? Just something to think about. Just something to really think about. So we're gonna go ahead and segue on that. But that's the topic I had to talk about, guys, because it was, again, y'all heard the conversation. All the young, even young brothers got that. They say natural. The women were saying BBL. As I said now here on the screen, they're scrolling across natural versus BBL. Which do guys prefer? They told you what they prefer. What they prefer. And they're
That's
speaking
surprising.
about go into marriage. That's what the long term. Now they will take you down because you got the BBL. Yeah, they'll take you down, but can that sustain? So stay tuned for that, and we shall see. But this is the culture part of it. So let's get back on these sports as we get ready to close the show out. Y'all know, man, I had to talk about this. We didn't get a chance to talk about it last week, man. But my guy, man, we're gonna talk about my Dallas Mavericks, man. Luka Doncic goes off for 73 points. DA, was that a real 73? Because they talking about, we're going to be segueing into basketball season at some point. And I know
Yeah.
this is our thing too, man. But was that a real 73? Because they talking about the rules need to be changed. So what's your take on it, DA?
Man, I watched it as it was happening. I was like, they got 41. It's just halftime. I was actually watching it as it was happening, and I was thinking, man, I know these guys are talented, but it's just too many people hitting 60 and 70 and 70 and 60 in such a short period of time. Like, okay, if the guys are so talented, why is the defense not as talented? Why can't we stop these guys if everybody's so much more talented than they were before? And I think for the most part, a lot of guys may be more talented when it comes to scoring, but I think the NBA went a little bit too far, man, with scoring rules, and because it's designed for us to watch people shoot threes all day. You can't hand check. You can't
Right.
even you can't even halfway bump against somebody. Like if somebody goes to the hoop and they just foul, it's just assumed that he was fouled. It's like, man, it's hard for me to watch the NBA, to be honest. I don't like the new rules. I mean, it's entertaining, but for a good quality game, I kind of want to see some people down there bumping, and you know what I mean? I want to see some 80s, 90s basketball
I know what
sometime,
you
man.
mean. You got a little bit of that nostalgia like we have, man,
Yeah,
back
I
in the
wanna
day,
see
coming down that middle cost you.
yeah, when he hit you in your ribs, Luca, what you gonna do in the next possession? That's what I want to see sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say though with Luca actually has that mentality. Actually, he come back even stronger. So I would say it was a real 73 because it's a real 73 to today. What's going on today? So you are correct. Today ain't what it was yesterday because the new rules, everything's been changed. It's totally different. So the 73, just think about to his peers. He actually scores better than his peers right now.
Oh
He
yeah,
actually
he's good.
does.
You can't stop him.
Yeah.
Can't
So
stop
yeah,
him.
he scored. He does all kind of things. He shoots the ball from different angles. and stuff like that. He does step back, he moves around, curves right, he does up and unders. He can shoot the ball in weird ways. He does a lot of Larry Bird stuff,
And he ain't
behind the
fast.
basket and all that kind of stuff. So he actually has a lot of skill.
Yeah, he's skilled.
Yeah, and there's some other players doing some special things too, because it was, like you said, it was racked up. But you know what? When they took out that hand checking, that changed the whole deal. Because see, that was defense. Because I could guide you if I was strong enough. I could guide you where I wanted. I could guide you into a double team. I could guide you into a bad place where you don't shoot well. I can play you for your bad, your weaknesses. Yeah. So now you can't even push somebody to their weaknesses because you get a foul call on you so quick, So that changed the whole game when you can't use that arm and the arm bar too. Arm bar was a big thing. Now you can't use it a certain way. People was able to use. If you use two hands, you can't use a 2-hand bar. You can use a 1-hand bar, and it can't be extended. It only can be set up a certain way. It's hard to not put it on somebody, and then people feel you and they turn it and spin it off of it. So one thing about it though, they have learned from the past how to use some defense techniques against them, right? Because one thing about it, we do elevate in how well we understand how the game go as we go along. Because we watch film of the past, so they learn from that. With the rules change and that, man, you got the fastest pace you ever had in the league.
Yeah, I wish they would. And it's just like in the NFL, right? Because we know that the rules gonna always favor the offense because they looking to put butts in the seats from the fans. But at some point, when do you say, let them play defense, man? Let them earn their points. Don't just give it to them. That's what I miss about, the games of yesteryears. I mean, guys, it was playoff basketball, man. It was physical, man. It was you earned. If you was able to sip, champagne at the end of that 7-game series in the NBA Finals, you knew you earned that, man. It wasn't you probably took the first 3 months off just in an ice bath because you went through something. Now it looks like what LUCKA has 73, Joe Embiid has 70. Who else? I think Devin Booker had like 62, and a few others. So they're talking about this now. I heard Kevin Garnett and him on his show. He was talking about this very thing about letting the guys play defense. You got to have some type of allotment that's going to allow these guys, man, to be able to earn those defensive awards the way Jordan did on both ends of being able to play on both ends of the floor, or the way the Michael Coopers did, or the Bruce Bowens, man. You got to let these guys be able to defend, and just giving guys, man, a free run. And then you missing, they was talking about a guy, I was looking at something the other day. I forget the guy that pickpocketed the dude, man. And when you talk about walking, they showed one with LeBron James, but you talking about traveling, man. Yeah. This dude took 3 steps. They don't even know now with the step back move and all that stuff. They don't even really know how to even call it no more. And if you can just do it in a very subtle way and real quick, it throws the referees off, man, because they sit there, man, and allow these people, man, to walk all day long. And that's
carry. And
get it out of our game. Go back to some of the. I'm not saying you got to have the brawls and running off the bench and all this other stuff, but I am saying, man, they need to bring back some of the basketball of greater years, man, that we grew up watching. But you say what, DA?
I was saying they even let them carry, and like, I mean, some guys have some crossovers, like like Kyrie and Kemba Walker, and them dudes can cross you over. These dudes today they just hold it in the hand. All right, I'm gonna go this way, and I'm gonna hold it. I'm gonna go that way, and that's just like, man, y'all ain't really got crossovers. Y'all carrying the ball every time.
That's what I'm talking about. They think they got skills. They ain't got no skills, man. We used to have the hand on top of the ball, right? They don't even have to have the ball on the side of the ball. They got the ball up under the ball. You know what I'm saying?
And it's like, which way I want to go.
Doing this, that of course you can move. You can do that. You let me have the ball like this. That's football. Tell me, they playing football. You got the best dance moves because they dancing now. That's what I was laughing about. Because they dancing now. They ain't even doing the 2-step. They doing like the 5-step.
Yeah.
They taking 5 steps. LeBron one of the best ones. He thinking about 4 or 5 steps all the time. They don't even call it. Especially when he runs in the middle of the paint.
Scoring the 73 points. I'm just listening to his interview.
It's crazy.
Get a win, man. We were struggling lately, man, so let's get a win. We play great. We shot a little bit on defense, but we play great offense.
Was there a point in tonight's game where you knew this was a special one for you?
They lost though, right?
No, they won.
No, they
Oh, they
actually
won.
won against the Hawks. 148 to 143.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I would just break the double. So just seeing the game.
Yeah, how big was that when it got more physical and they were double teaming you that Dante Exum came up big, Josh Green as well?
It was great. It was a trust, you know. I always trust my teammates. Make the right play is always big time for us. And the next man up, you know, they were great today.
I'm just laughing, man, because the whole interview in itself is just like it's like we had Tommy Allen, man. We had Redbird G, and it's just wrecking. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm like, come on, man, come on, NBA, come on, Commissioner Silver, y'all gotta do better than that, man. I mean, they got some things they need to do in the NFL as well, but they gotta definitely do something in the NBA, man. So
That did look like a rec room.
yeah, absolutely, man. I know the Dallas Mavericks. I forget where they sitting. I think they like in 5th or 6th place right now. I hadn't checked the record of late. Kyrie been in and out of lineup. I think once they can cement that and get that together, these injuries, man, because 1 minute he's out, then Lively's out. But when they all playing together, man, they are a handful to deal with. And I think that the Mavericks will definitely be able to, make an interesting run. I don't have them at the top just yet, but we can see. I mean, we'll see if they can keep everybody together. But I had to give a big shout out to my man LUCKA Doncic, man. He still dropped 73 and what have you, but it was just a funny kind of 73 to me, man. Yeah. So guys, we coming up on the final minutes, man, the closing of the show, man. It's been another great episode with you guys, with my brothers, man, doing this. And before we get out of here, we're gonna do these shouts out, man. We gotta do our shouts out. So I'm gonna come to you first, TJ. I want to know who you shouting out this week, man.
Well, we're doing a shout out. I guess we do our pick for the Super Bowl. Well, I guess we got time for the Super Bowl, don't we?
Yeah, we got time. I was gonna wait on that, man, to next week.
Okay,
you know
cool. Give us some. That'd be good.
Dub, man, the dub.
That's good. That'd be the first time. So I'm gonna make a shout out to our audience, man. And all the young men out there that's listening to us. To kind of go back to our culture show. Keep listening to what's right. Value yourself. And value the woman that you want to be with for a lifetime. So when you have that, back and forth value, that's when you're talking about, because that value means respect and love and all those things combined together. So let's keep valuing each other. Let's keep respecting each other. Let's keep loving each other.
Well, who you got, D? Who you shouting out this week?
Man, I got to shout out Brock Purdy, man, because I've been so hard on this dude this past couple of weeks, man, but he keep bailing us out, even though he's bailing us in. Where he have to bail us out, he's bailing us out. And a lot of people can't say their quarterback has been bailing them out. So I got to send a shout out to Brock Purdy, man. I'm at a point now where it don't even really matter. I want him to play good against the Chiefs, but I want him to be loose. Like, go in that game like you came out that third quarter, like, we're in the Super Bowl. Nobody expected me to get us here. This is Patrick Mahomes. Let's duel. So I want to shout him out for bringing his team back 2 weeks in a row. Silenced me. No matter what he does, he silenced me, and he got my respect. So shout out to Purdy.
Well, you know what? My shout out is going to go to all those young brothers that was in that video when they asked the question, do you want BBL? You want BBL or natural? And all them young brothers said natural. So big shout out, man, to all those young brothers who definitely identified, man, that the natural way is always going to be God's way. You can't make this stuff up, man. They try to simulate something and do something that they're not. But you can't spoil God's plan. All right. So again, this has been another great episode on the replay, where we try to make your day. And we want to thank everybody for coming on, man. Don't forget to hit that subscribe, like, and share button. We're going to keep bringing the content. If y'all keep coming, tell a friend to tell a friend. Like I said, we appreciate y'all coming on with us tonight. And we're going to be back with our Super Bowl pick next week. So until the end, y'all be safe. As I always love to say, man, always keep God first. Ain't nothing you got to keep God first in everything you do. And don't let life stress you out. Stress life out. All right. Peace and love, y'all. We'll see y'all back next week.
Peace and love, guys. Enjoy.
I didn't know we had replay hoodies. You got one, Tim?
Not yet.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, what be splurging on us?
Mm-hmm.